Yes, I know. Mommy will find you some food. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Shh. Shh. Greetings, hello, hi, wonderful to see you. No, this is nothing. One moment. Sorry, let me just get that out of our way. That's nothing of importance. Sorry. Hello. It's wonderful to see you. Now, what can I do for my favorite customer of all of Whisperwind? Yes, we've been over this before. You are absolutely one of my favorite customers of all time. You have quite an interest in the more unusual items that I tend to carry. And you often have some rather unusual items for old Zade to take a look at, too. It is, sometimes the life of a peddler can be a bit challenging. Sometimes it can be a bit, repetitive. You know, you sort of know what different people are going to take, and you know, it's just sometimes it's not as fun as some people might think it is. But you, my friend, always keep me guessing. I like that about you. So what can old Zade the peddler do for you today, my friend? Of course, yes, I would love to show you my wares, of course. You know I always have some rather unusual items that might intrigue you. Yes, of course. Especially the wonderful, quest-fulfilling adventurer such as yourself. You never know when one of these more unusual items might come in handy. Exactly. All right. Let's see, what exactly might my favorite customer of Whisperwind be interested in today? Let's start here, shall we? This, it may not look like much beyond just a lovely little adornment, but it's actually quite special. This pendant here, you can see, it's got some lovely golden filigree on it like that, and then some beautiful beading here. You can wear it quite long, you can shorten it if you would like. Not only is this quite a lovely, lovely piece, but rumor has it that it also is enchanted. Now, I myself, though I have been around for a very, very, very long time, I never really got the chance to practice magic, so I don't myself actually know if this is enchanted or not. But the person that I got it from was a high priestess from a very, very prestigious city south of the Kingdom of Maladia. And she is quite the purveyor of magic. So she said that this is, it's a protection amulet. According to her. Now, I don't believe that this has the same type of magic that the elves that used to live in Maladia used to practice, but it does have quite a fascinating aura to it. And again, like I said, it is just quite lovely, isn't it? Look at that, the pattern on there and the little tassel. I believe these are moonstones as well, which is quite a lovely crystal. It offers protection, it offers mental clarity. Some people say it also increases the chance of you having prophetic dreams, too. Moonstone was used quite often by the elves that used to create prophecies back in the day. It's quite a powerful stone. So this is quite a lovely piece that could certainly keep you safe on your travels, perhaps. Maybe. All right. Zade likes maybes. Yes, of course. We love maybes here, don't we? Let's see, what else? What else might be of interest to you? You don't have a need for a little decorative fan, do you? No, I don't believe that this has any sort of magic to it, although it is just crafted very, very beautifully. You can see all the different, the colors, the painting on there. Yes, this was from an artiste from the kingdom of Kanjagar, or the empire. It's not a kingdom, it's an empire. Yes, that is quite warm in Kanjagar. They have a much more difficult terrain, much more difficult weather than we may experience in the very temperament kingdom of Maladia. So often the ladies of the court and other sort of higher end people will carry around these lovely, lovely little decorative fans. Nice and lightweight, but very effective at keeping one cool. Seeing as it is starting to get to the warmer seasons of the year, perhaps this would be something that you may like. Not today. That's all right. Not to worry, not to worry. Let's see, what else might you be interested in? Do you have a need for some lovely, lovely new goblets? Are you sure? They're quite fascinating. These are also from a kingdom that is south of Maladia. Yes, quite a few exotic things today. You're not in the market for anything like this? All right. That's fine, that's fine. No, a peddler needs to know their customer. I didn't really think that an adventurer like you would want to be toting around something like that. Let's see, what else? Are you in need of a close shave, perhaps? No, that's fine, that's fine. Here's a nice practical thing that someone like you might find interesting. Just a little dagger here. Now, oftentimes we think of weapons as something that needs to be big and powerful, and of course things like that are very, very important as well, but sometimes what one really needs to get out of a pickle, per se, is something that can be easily concealed. This little dagger here is, first of all, it's a lovely shape. It's quite easy to wield, and it's also quite easy to hide on one's person. Whether you were to slip it into your boot, or perhaps just tuck it into your cloak or something like that, it is quite useful. It's got a nice wooden handle here, nice and comfortable. Yes, it's not, like I said, it's not very big, but it would be very nice for getting yourself out of difficult situations. Also, this little serrated part there is good for sawing different things too, if you needed to cut through some rope or something like that. Very, very useful. In fact, it was a dagger very similar to this one that actually saved old Zade's life one time. Yes, you see, I was captured by some very, very not very nice goblins, let's just say that. And they took from me all of my weapons, except for a little dagger like this that I had hidden in my boot. They missed this one. So after they had left, you see, they're not very good at keeping watch. They tend to get bored. Anyway, they tied me up, but then they left me alone for a little while, and I was able to sneak this out of my boot and sort of saw through the ropes that they had me tied up in. And then I was able to get away very, very quietly. Who knows what would have happened to old Zade if I hadn't had something like this on my person. So, you never know. Something like this is a very, very useful item, especially for someone in your profession. Excellent. I thought you might be interested in this one. Let's see, what else? What else might you like here? No, you know what? We'll discuss that another day, perhaps. Are you in the market for anything unusual to read? I've picked this up from a very peculiar peddler that I actually met in the forest not too long ago. Yes, this is a book that used to belong to the elves, I believe. It's sort of their perspective on heathens. Rather interesting. And books like this often have some very minor enchantment that helps you read and retain the information. So you never know. Could be an interesting read. Not today. That's all right. That's all right. Not to worry. Now, perhaps instead of offering you any more of my interesting items, perhaps this journey I could interest you more in some information. What do you think? Yes, well, of course, it would depend on the nature of this information. You see, one of the benefits of being a peddler, especially one who has been around for a very, very, very long time, is that not only am I a purveyor of very interesting, wonderful, high-quality goods, I also have the opportunity to be the purveyor of secrets now and then. Being a peddler, it puts you in the position of getting to hear little whispers on the winds now and then. And these little whispers can be quite important sometimes. Maybe not to every single person, but to the right person, the right whispers can be priceless, really. Although I'm sure Zade could think of a price. Anyway, so, since one of our previous conversations where we discussed a certain prophecy and certain relics, certain ends of the world that we're trying to prevent, old Zade has been keeping her ear to the ground for these little whispers, for information that might be beneficial to someone who was adventuring around trying to find these very important relics. And I just maybe have found a whisper that could be very, very important. You see, I have this acquaintance of mine. She lives in Ifindel, the capital of the kingdom of Maladia. Have you ever made it to our beautiful, large, wealthy, very, very, very loud capital of this kingdom? That doesn't surprise me. It is quite a ways from here. It's almost about as south as you can get in the kingdom, and seeing as our little town of Whisperwind here is just about as far north as you can get, it doesn't surprise me that you haven't graced the city of Ifindel with your presence yet. However, it is quite the hub of culture, of wealth, certainly wealth, and of information, the right kinds of information. So I have this acquaintance. She's also a gnome. Her name is Zenith, and she is an archaeologist, someone who works at the university as a professor. But she also leads expeditions now and then to far-off places or long-forgotten places in the far reaches of our kingdom here in search of different artifacts, different historical things that would lead to, new discoveries in the realm of history, of culture, of people, of all of those things. She's quite passionate about it. And rumor has it that she has a contact that lives outside of this kingdom who may have come into possession of a very, very unusual magical item. You see, most magical users, when they come across a magical item, they can sort of feel the power of it. And they can sort of get a sense for what that item might be or what it could be used for or where it came from, things like this. But every once in a while, when there is a particularly rare or particularly powerful, mysterious type of magic, it can be quite puzzling, even for the most adept magical users, unless they know that specific type of magic. So, she has a contact who has found an item that I do believe could be one of the relics that you've been searching for. Now, you have how many relics so far? Right, okay. So we have the hourglass, and we have the cuff. But there's still quite a bit to find, isn't there? Quite a bit that needs to happen. Well, this could very well be one of the relics. Now, unfortunately, I don't know too much more about this specific item or anything like that, but from the rumors that I have heard, I am quite convinced that this is something that you should look into, I suppose. So, I would suggest that it may be a good time for you to visit this lovely capital of the Kingdom of Maladia, and perhaps make an acquaintance of this archaeologist yourself. Yes, she, well, like I said, she works at the university. It might be a bit difficult to get a hold of her there, but she also frequents a place called the Ifendel Bazaar. Now, the Ifendel Bazaar, it's a shopping area, but it's much more than that. You see, it was sort of the product of the incredibly wealthy around Ifendel being bored, really, and wanting all of the most elite, the most expensive, the most rare and exotic items all in one place for their viewing and purchasing pleasure. So the Ifendel Bazaar has become sort of a cultural hub in the city of Ifendel. Yes. Anyway, so Zenith, the archaeologist, she often will sell things at this bazaar to sort of help fund her expeditions that she goes on. So, if you were to go to Ifendel and make it to this bazaar, I would guess that you would find her there. As well as quite a few other crooks and charlatans and all sorts of people selling all sorts of things that are really just robbing people of everything. I mean, the bazaar is, it's incredibly prestigious. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, so if you were to travel to Ifendel and get to the Ifendel Bazaar and meet this archaeologist, she may be able to tell you more about this rare, unusual item, perhaps even get you in touch with this contact of hers who has it. Yes, I know it's a bit of a long shot. The thing is, sometimes these little whispers that old Zade hears, they're not really the whole story. So you'll have to go and speak to this archaeologist, perhaps, and learn more specifics from her. I think that's a good idea, too. Yes, I thought so. Like I said, I know it's a bit of a long shot, but I don't have any other leads as of yet. I'm still keeping this old ear to the ground, learning about things, trying to find leads for the other relics and their location. But for now, I think this is as good of a lead as we have. So I think going to Ifendel is a good idea for you. Good. I'm glad that you think so too. Now, unfortunately, this Zenith, like I said, she's a gnome. She's an old acquaintance of mine. She is not very trusting when it comes to new people. You see, she's very well learned. She's quite old, like I am. She's been around for a very, very, very long time. And she's very clever in most ways. Not when it comes to gambling. Well, that was a long time ago. Maybe she's better now. Anyway, but she is not necessarily fond of new people. So, I would suggest that you have something to sort of win her over when you first meet her. Something to grab her attention and make it very difficult to ignore you. No, I know you probably don't have anything like that. Like I said, she's been around for a very, 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 very long time. So she's seen quite a lot of interesting things already. However, old Zade has a few tricks up her sleeves. I have a particular item that I know for a fact that Zenith will jump at the opportunity to possess. It's something that I've had for a very, very long time, and I told myself that I would never part with it unless it was for a very important reason. But seeing as this may lead to the recovery of a relic that could potentially save the world, I'd say that's rather important, don't you? Yes, yes, I think so. So, let me get this item for you. Let's see what you think of this, alright? Let's see, that. Oh, it's been so long since I've had to even look at this, really. Let me just shuffle through all of these things over here. Oh, so I'm just getting old. I see. Let's see. It's in here somewhere. I just need this one. Here we are. I knew I had it somewhere. Okay. Like I said, it's something that I really didn't want to part with, so it was sort of tucked into the bottom of a very not unusual looking chest. Okay, so this is an artifact of the past. Ancient Maladia. Back when it was ruled by the elves far more than the humans before they decided to leave the country after the War of the Races. It's all quite a lot of history there. But anyway, this is a very special item. But like I said, I know for a fact that Zenith will not only want to possess, but will recognize this very specific thing. Never mind how I know that. Anyway, this is a beautiful tiara that used to belong to a crown princess of the elves. Yes, I said it was a very important artifact. It's inlaid, it's beautifully crafted gold, inlaid with the diamonds and emeralds. An incredible treasure, not just because it would be worth quite a lot of money, but also just the amount of history that this item contains. Yes, yes. Definitely something that an archaeologist, a studier of history, would be quite interested in. So, if you were to go and meet this Zenith and offer her a gift like this in good faith, as a show of good faith, I am certain that she would be willing to give you a bit more information about this unusual magical item. Well, yes, of course. I'm happy to help on your quest, as you know, it is beneficial to all of the people of Maladia and perhaps the people of other countries as well that you succeed in this quest of yours. I'm more than happy to sell you this item. Well, of course, sell it. I'm not just going to give you this incredibly valuable gold and diamond and emerald crown. I am, first and foremost, a peddler. Peddler's got a peddle. But I'm sure that we can come up with a very reasonable price, seeing as it is for a very good cause. All right, good. So, let's discuss that price, shall we? So we have this lovely crown. Don't worry, I'll give you a bargain on it. I'll give you a bargain. And then the little boot dagger as well, right? You said that you were interested in. Good, I'm glad that you're still interested, especially going somewhere like Ifendel. Now, Ifendel is, it's a very different place than Whisperwind. Let's just say that. You see, it is the residence of the crown. The king, the crown prince, all of the royal advisors, the royal court. And it is a place that, unlike the freedom and discretion of people of Whisperwind, it is a place where everyone is very closely watched. you see the crown, the royal house of Fruin. They are not too fond of magical items, magic in general, really, or anyone who practices it or has certain information about certain historical events that they would like people not to know about. Anyway, they keep a very tight grip on the people of Ifindel. So I think you will find that the further you travel south, the more restricted you might feel. So, having something like this on you, just in case, could be a very, very good thing. Anyway, so the crown and the dagger, and what about this lovely pendant of protection? Yes, this lovely amulet that was enchanted as an amulet of protection. Is that something that you are still interested in? All right, maybe next time. Maybe next time. That's fine. That's all right. We've got these two very valuable, very good items for you to have, so we'll stick with that for now. All right. Now, one of the reasons that you are one of my favorite customers is that you often have items to trade with old Zade that are quite interesting. Like you know, I don't always accept trades, but your items always seem to be very intriguing. So if you were to perhaps have something to trade today, we could certainly discuss that. Wonderful, wonderful. What do you have for old Zade to take a look at today? Oh, fascinating. It's a fascinating little brooch, isn't it? Yes, it looks like diamonds, and is that onyx there? Perhaps onyx, perhaps obsidian, actually, maybe. I'll have to do some research onto what sort of stones these are, but it's quite lovely craftsmanship. The silver and the lovely filigree sort of pattern, and the gemstones inlaid in there. Yes, that is it's quite lovely, quite lovely. Little brooch. Is that could be used as a clasp for a cloak, I suppose, or just decorative as well. Nothing wrong with being decorative, especially the noble ladies in Eshan and places like that. They love to have little tokens like this of stature. They're also quite willing to pay pretty much whatever Zade tells them to pay, which is rather nice. Zade loves customers. All right, well, I don't think that this brooch will fully cover the cost of a crown per se, but it won't hurt, it won't hurt. Did you have anything else to trade, or shall we discuss gold? Excellent. Zade loves gold. Let's see. What would be a fair price for a lovely crown such as this? Now, I did say that I would give you a bargain, though, because it is in service of saving the world. So, what do you think would be a fair price? Personally, I think that might be a little high, actually. That is probably the first time you've ever heard Zade say that. Yes, I'm sure. But, like I said, this is a very important trade, I would say. So I wouldn't want to set you back too far. That sounds like a good amount. Yes. Why don't we do that? I'll take the brooch and that amount of coins, and then you may have this lovely crown and the dagger. Sounds good. Good. Let me wrap this up for you again, shall I? Just to sort of keep it safe. You will have quite a long journey to Ifindel, and you'll want this to be in pristine condition. Not that Zenith wouldn't be interested in it even if it wasn't pristine, but the more pristine it is, of course, the more excited she'll be. So let me just wrap this up nice and safely for you. Here we go. All right, and then the dagger. Do you want this wrapped up? No, that's fine. That's fine. All right, and lovely. Just Lovely, lovely. Just add these into my little coin purse here. Well, pleasure doing business with you, as always, old friend, yes. So, off to Eifendel then, I suppose. When do you think you'll be leaving? You don't waste any time, do you? Although I would suggest, perhaps taking a little bit of time around Whisperwind just to say your goodbyes to those that you have to say goodbye to. Yes, you will be gone for probably quite a while this time. Eifendel is very far from here, and who knows where you may need to go with Zenith after Eifendel. So, this could be quite a long, quite a big journey. Yes, well, I suppose you'd better get on up to your room here and get some rest then, huh? Of course. Like I said, old Zade is a peddler. That much you know, but I also am more than happy to help in the service of the kingdom of Maladia. This kingdom is not perfect. It's very, very far from perfect, and that's for sure. But it is my home. Yes. What would we not do to save our home, right? Exactly. Well, a pleasure as always, wonderful traveler. Until next time.